For term 1, week 1, year 7 for BedeMalmsbury. Now, this you'll see is very similar to the history of England, the birth of Britain, but it's from a bit of a different perspective. Okay, so in chapter 1, they talk a little bit about Britain being the island in the ocean, formerly called Albion, and it's around 800 to 200 miles big. Then they also say it's got lots of grains and trees, and it's good for beasts of burden, meaning oxen and horses and such animals that carry things, mules and donkeys and big animals that have to carry heavy things. And it also has vines in some places, vines for grapes, and it has lots of land and waterfowl, meaning lots of geese and ducks and turkeys and chickens, and fowl is anything of the chicken family, basically, pheasants and yeah, things like that. They also have lots of salmon, eels, and seals, also dolphins, whales, and shellfish that they would eat. They also have lots of hot springs and normal plain water springs, so lots of an abundance of water and metal. They also had various metals and jet, which is a black type of stone that they used to warm and use for various things. They formerly had formerly, which means previously, had 28 cities with castles, and it's quite close to the North Pole, so they had long days in summer, very long days, like midnight it'll still be light out, it'll look like it's morning, and then very short days in winter. In winter they had very, very short days. They now contain 5 nations: the English, the Britons, the Scots, the Picts, and the Latins. Now, first, the Britons arrived in the south. Now, like we did in Birth of Britain, those are the people that painted themselves blue and all that. Those are the Britons that arrived in the south. Okay, remember that's at the bottom. Then, the Picts arrived in longboats in Northern Ireland. But the people from Northern Ireland said, no, you're not allowed to stop here. We've already occupied this place. Go back. There's another island. Go there. And they said, if the people that stay in that island don't allow you to settle there, we'll help you. We'll fight with you for you to be able to settle there. But just don't take our place. Just don't settle here. And they told them to go to northern Britain. Okay. Then the Picts had no wives, so they asked the Scots for wives. And the Scots said, it's fine, you can have our women as wives, but from now on, you have to choose your royal race from the women, not the men. And they still do that to this day. The Scots arrived from Ireland, where they sing the praises of Ireland. They say nothing bad ever happens there. The air is pure and beautiful. No poisons can survive there. Everything is good. So why did they leave then? But anyway, so the Scots arrived from Ireland in Britain. Now we go on to chapter 2, where they talk, this is once again almost a recap from Birth of Britain, where they talk about Caius Julius Caesar, which was the first Roman in Britain, and while he was at war with Gaul and Germany, he went over to Britain with 80 ships. Then there was the battle, the storm, where they lost most of their men, horses, and ships, and then he went back to Gaul, got more ships, marched again, and then the ships were broken by the storm. The Romans lost the first battle, but they won the second one. And then at the Thames, this is not in Birth of Britain, this is quite clever. At the river Thames, the Romans attacked the Britons, but the Britons in the river itself had spikes poking up in the water. So hoping obviously to impale the Romans as they went for them. But the Romans unfortunately saw this and they went around. The Romans saw this and avoided it, and the Britons then freaked out and hid in the woods. Their plan failed now, they didn't know what to do. Many cities then surrendered and made treaties with the Romans saying, please just don't fight with us anymore, we promise we'll pay you whatever you want, and just don't stop killing us, please. And they then went back to Gaul, and after Caius Julius Caesar got back to Gaul, he was almost immediately flooded with other fights and things that he had to manage. Because remember, the Roman Empire was huge, and they had so many little fights going on around the place. It kept him quite busy, so I think he forgot about Britain for a little while.